It's Tuesday, August 12th. In the headlines, schools to reopen on September 1. In business news, Sterling Asset urges rethink of retirement plans as lifespans rise. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago's government to sign a multi-billion-dollar deep-sea drilling deal. And in sports, past cricketers join emergency talks on West Indies cricket. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Despite the upcoming general election, schools across Jamaica will reopen as scheduled on September 1. The Education Ministry confirmed the plan in an advisory following Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's announcement that Jamaicans will head to the polls come September 3. To accommodate the election, schools that will serve as polling stations will close at noon on September 2, and all schools will close on Election Day, September 3. Classes will resume the following day, September 4, using a blend of online and in-person instruction. Full face-to-face teaching begins on September 5. As a result, the Christmas break will run from December 18 to January 4, 2026. The ministry says the decision was made in consultation with the Jamaica Teachers Association, the National Parent-Teacher Association, and other key education partners, and the Electoral Office of Jamaica. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company is expanding its reach with plans to launch its new Rural Express service to 4 major townships: Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Negril, and Port Antonio by the end of August. This follows the successful rollout of the Mandeville to downtown Kingston route, which began service on July 28. JUTC's Managing Director, Owen Ellington, made the announcement during a recent press briefing at the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica Auditorium in New Kingston. The Rural Express will use 15 of the 30 new diesel buses recently acquired by the company, offering premium travel between Kingston and rural towns at an introductory fare of $2,000. Mr. Ellington says plans are in place to accommodate university students from the University of Technology, UTech, and the University of the West Indies, UWI, many of whom travel home on weekends. He says the JUTC is exploring a special coach pickup directly from campuses on Fridays or Saturdays to connect students to the main transport hub in Halfway Tree, making it easier and safer for them to reach home and return in time for classes. The date for the upcoming general election has just been announced, marking an important milestone in the country's democratic calendar. Marlon Samuels provides insights into the lessons learned from previous election cycles and the steps being taken to ensure a smoother, more transparent voting process. Stay with us for the details.
According to Gospel Brown, Director of Elections, several key measures have been implemented based on lessons learned from past elections to enhance the electoral experience. Among these improvements is the expansion of polling stations to better serve voters.
One of the lessons that we have learned, certainly if we look back at the February 2024 local government election, that there was some amount of complaint in terms of the timeliness of what we do. Certainly in terms of persons are somewhat impatient in terms of when they go to vote on election day, they want to just go into that polling station, enter that compound, and within a short while to get out. So what we have done is we have expanded the number of polling stations. Certainly we have an additional 500 new polling stations compared to what we had in February. And also what we'll be doing is to ensure the process move a little bit faster on election day.
Another significant change is the placement of a considerable number of polling stations on ground floors to assist voters with mobility issues.
That will help the person with some level of disability. We have in excess of 96% of our polling station will be on the ground floor for the upcoming election.
As the election day approaches, it's important for all eligible voters to be informed and prepared. Your participation is crucial in ensuring that the democratic process reflects the will of the people. Make sure to mark your calendar and exercise your right to vote. Every ballot counts in shaping our nation's future. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is praising what he calls a major vote of confidence in Jamaica's economy, the $700 million investment in the new Moon Palace Hotel in St. James. Speaking at Monday's groundbreaking ceremony, the Prime Minister credited deliberate government policy for securing the deal with Mexican investors behind the 1,200-room mega development.
It is because of deliberate, instrumental policy and government action that ensured that this is the outcome that we see. Government is absolutely important in the development of any country.
Dr. Holness underscored the role of leadership in driving national development, calling on Jamaicans to choose wisely when selecting who governs.
Government can be good for the development of a country, and government can be bad in the development of a country. It is up to the people to ensure that they choose good government.
Construction on the Moon Palace project is now underway, promising hundreds of jobs and a significant boost to the tourism sector once completed. In today's fast-paced world, success isn't just about what you know. It's about how well you understand yourself and others. It's called emotional intelligence, and experts say it can transform the way we live, love, and work. In this week's JIS feature, we explore what it means to develop this powerful skill and why it could be the key to building stronger relationships at home, in the community, and on the job.
In a world moving at lightning speed, where stress builds, words fly, and connections are fleeting, one ability has quietly emerged as a superpower.
It's not your degree, it's not your job title. It's called emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, simply put, is the ability to regulate one's emotion and to be sensitive to the emotions of others.
Emotional intelligence, or EQ as it's also called, isn't just a feel-good phrase. It plays a critical role in how we live, love, and lead.
It enhances relationship, be it family, interpersonal, at the workplace, just being able to tap into one's emotion and to be able to know what is happening to me at that particular time. Be sensitive to what is happening to somebody too at a particular time. What I say, how I say it, what I do. So it brings harmony, it brings understanding.
So, what makes up this powerful skill set?
All right, so the first one that comes to mind is self-awareness. What are my triggers? What gets me angry? What makes me upset? How does my childhood experiences affect me as an adult? Do I have low self-esteem?
Self-awareness is just the beginning. It's how we treat others that reveals how deep our EQ runs.
Social skills. Do I make others laugh? How well do I behave in social situations? Then there's empathy. Empathy is not sympathy. It is that ability to feel what others are feeling.
And then there's regulation, mastering the storm inside before it spills out.
Emotional regulation. We have issues like road rage. At that particular time, how do I behave? And you can probably rehearse it, as it were, and say, if I were to be bullied on the road by another driver, how do I respond? Do I maintain my calm?
And finally, motivation. The drive not just to succeed, but to grow.
Motivation is the other one. The ability to kind of have that intrinsic motivation to change, motivation to modify one's behavior, motivation to adjust and to adapt, motivation to rise above challenges, motivation to achieve.
But what happens when EQ is missing, especially on the job?
Persons in the workplace, in the workspace, might be easily intimidated by others. And so some person might believe that everybody should like them, everybody should love them, nobody should give them a hard time at work, right? And so they might easily get frustrated and say, boy, I can't work in this environment anymore. Why am I like this? You see, that when I was much younger, my parents told me to shut up. You talk too much. Go to your room. And so it becomes a part of who I am today. I might lack self-confidence. So if I do a presentation at work, in my mind, I construct a narrative. They're all, look at them, they're all looking at me, they're saying that I'm no good. And I start to jitter and make all kind of mistakes.
Low EQ doesn't just affect careers, it strains the most important relationships in our lives.
Couples need to listen to each other, but know each other's cues. Know when to come with a hard topic. Emotional intelligence will say to you, no, it's not a good time.
And when it comes to parenting, EQ becomes a bridge between generations.
Getting along with the children too, being sensitive to how they might be feeling, giving them a voice to express how they're feeling, to create a safe space for them to feel confident that I can come to you as a parent and say this, right? Without being judged and without being punished, right? So emotional intelligence, it puts the family together, it builds confidence, self-awareness, it diffuses conflict, it builds harmony.
In families, at work, in love, emotional intelligence shapes the quality of our lives. And while not everyone is born with high EQ, it's something we can all learn.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. The Jamaica Stock Exchange Limited unaudited financials for the 6 months ending June 30, 2025 reports a 66% increase in the 6 months net profit. The exchange, led by Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, reported a 26% increase in turnover, totaling $1.52 billion compared to $1.21 billion in the corresponding period last year. Fee income amounted to $1.07 billion, which represents an increase of 11% year over year. Consequently, cess on stock trading increased by 131% to $347.77 million compared to $150.36 million for the 6 months ending June 30, 2024. Investors can look forward to passive income from listed companies. NCB Financial Group Limited has declared a dividend of 50 cents per share payable on September 5, 2025 to shareholders on record as at August 22, 2025. Sterling Investments Limited has declared a dividend of 0.78 cents per share payable on September 12, 2025 to shareholders on record as at August 22, 2025. Charles Ross, Managing Director of Sterling Asset Management, is urging Jamaicans and others across the Caribbean to rethink their retirement strategies as people are living longer. He told RJR News that smarter, more flexible retirement plans are needed to sustain retirees well into their 80s and 90s. Mr. Ross warns that too many people are reaching old age without a financial cushion and wants new entrants into the workforce to start saving early to take advantage of the time value of money. For the trading period ending August 11, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 29,862,273 units traded, representing 58.99% of market sales volume. Investment house Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 11,728,643 units traded, representing 23.17% of market sales volume. Cigarette distributor Carreras Limited with 2,560,572 units traded, representing 5.06% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On August 11, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $70.80 million purchased and US $64.82 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.61 per dollar, selling the US at $161.17 and buying the US at $159.56. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 93 cents per transaction, with selling at $117.48 and buying at $116.55. The British pound yielded Forex traders $2.16 in profits, with selling at $215.85 and buying at $213.69. For our credit report tip of the day, strong credit is a powerful tool, but it's only valuable if you use it to acquire assets that generate income and grow in value. Too many professionals stop at being loan approved without taking the next step towards ownership. The key is to treat your credit like a lever, not a trophy. Pull it to open doors to real estate, businesses, and investments that will work for you long after the loan is paid off. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has expressed optimism about energy developments in Trinidad and Tobago, highlighting a strong recovery in the sector. Speaking at the UNC Monday night report on the government's first 100 days in office, she stated that, quote, the energy tide is turning, end quote, in the nation's favor, with special projects underway. She further revealed that the government is set to sign a multi-billion-dollar agreement on Tuesday for ultra-deep sea drilling in the country's territorial waters.
For the first time since 2003, that's about 22 years ago, for the first time, ExxonMobil is coming back to Trinidad and Tobago. We agreed on a prudent phase plan to explore a newly defined ultra-deepwater area known as UD1, ultra-deepwater 1, 7 blocks off the east coast of Trinidad, 2,000 to 3,000 meters deep water. USD1 sits northwest of Ghana's Stabroek block. In plain terms, this represents a significant new frontier that can supply our energy and petrochemical plants, create good jobs, embrace and enhance our foreign exchange reserves. At the exact completion, tomorrow marks, in fact, the completion of the 100 days in office. Tomorrow. because the cabinet was sworn in a day after, 2 days after the April 28 election. So, tomorrow, August 12th, exactly 100 days in office, my government will host the largest publicly traded oil and gas company in the world tomorrow, right here in TNT. Tomorrow, Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, we will sign a multi-billion-dollar agreement for ultra-deep sea drilling in our territorial waters. That area has remained unexplored forever, and now they carry enormous potential for capturing hydrocarbon resources. The message of this signing tomorrow is that TNT is open for business, and investor confidence has returned and is returning to Trinidad and Tobago.
Afro-Exim Bank says its sponsorship of the GUBA Awards is more than just financial support, but a statement about the future of Africa-Caribbean relations. At the official nominee announcement of the GUBA Awards, Mr. Raymond Ward, Afro-Exim Bank Assistant Manager of Client Relations, proudly announced their role as a sponsor for the first ever staging of the event in the Caribbean. They say the partnership fits perfectly with their mission to connect Africa and its diaspora. He says since setting up operations in Barbados, the bank has worked to open new markets and strengthen business ties.
So similarly, events like the Grow, Unite, Build Africa Awards play a crucial role in raising awareness and fostering meaningful engagement across our communities, businesses, and organizations. Afro-Exim Bank therefore remains a proud sponsor, a very proud sponsor of the GUBA Awards ceremony, which is directly aligned with our Global Africa strategy, aiming to foster these relationships and deepen and promote prosperity and highlight the success of our people across the globe. Since the establishment of our office in 2023, we have credit approved over $700 million in deals to deploy throughout the Caribbean across various sectors. Further, we've built a pipeline of over $2 billion to support tourism, energy, trade-enabling infrastructure, and manufacturing in all of the member states represented in the CARICOM where we operate.
Guyana has called on the United Nations to demand that Israel reverse its plan to seize control of Gaza City by October 7, 2025. A move, it says, would forcibly displace thousands of Palestinians, destroy the two-state solution, and heighten the risk of regional and global instability. Speaking at a UN Security Council meeting on Sunday, Guyana's UN Permanent Representative, Ambassador Caroline Rodriguez-Brickett, warned that the planned occupation, coupled with ongoing humanitarian crisis, demanded urgent international intervention.
We call on Israel to reverse this reprehensible decision. It is striking, Mr. President, that Israel continues to announce to the world beforehand, including in this Council, decisions that would violate international law if implemented. We have witnessed this with UNRWA and more recently with OCHA. This decision to take full control of Gaza is the latest installment in Israel's contemptible actions against the Palestinian people. It comes on top of numerous infractions committed over the decades since the decision was made for the Israeli state to be established in the land of Palestine in 1947. We therefore reiterate our call for the release of all individuals held captive by Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. Mr. President, the Council must act in the face of all that is taking place in Gaza, and now in response to Israel's annexation plans. The International Court of Justice was clear in its pronouncements regarding the illegality of any annexation of Palestinian territory by Israel. We must intensify our efforts to ensure Israel completely evacuates the Palestinian territory and withdraws to the pre-1967 lines in accordance with the relevant UN resolutions and the advisory opinion of the ICJ. Guyana also urges that this Council act collectively to achieve an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and to end the violence against the civilians in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem. We must also take action to enable conditions for a drastic improvement in the humanitarian situation in Gaza.
In sports, we look to cricket. A crucial two-day meeting has concluded in Trinidad and Tobago, focused on addressing some of the chronic ills facing West Indies cricket. Cricket West Indies convened the emergency meeting of the Cricket Strategy and Officiating Committee in the wake of the team's performance woes. Terry Andrew reports.
CEO of Cricket West Indies Chris Derring, Director of Cricket Miles Bascom, Sir Clive Lloyd, Committee Chair Enoch Lewis, and legendary cricketer Brian Lara fielded questions from journalists at the conclusion of the two-day strategic summit. While the men were pleased with the fruitful discussions over the summit, they all expressed high hopes of implementing the recommendations and solutions to help improve West Indies cricket. Chair of the Cricket Strategy and Officiating Committee, Enoch Lewis, talks about the 2 days of interactions.
What we said in that meeting in particular was, look, we want to know what the challenges are, because we're looking for some sort of structural reform. We want to know what we need to do as a committee, what we need to recommend to Cricket West Indies so that we can reform cricket in a way that we can be proud, even more proud of the product that is on the field. Putting in place a high performance center to assist with the development of ongoing development of our cricketers. And things like that are exciting, academies in different territories.
Legendary West Indies players Sir Clive Lloyd and Brian Lara were also a part of the discussions.
I think that all the things that we put forward and hope to see them come to fruition. I was very impressed with the coach, Darren Sammy, and the analysts. I thought they were very good. They sort of said things that were needed and why they were needed, and I sincerely hope that this doesn't just come to some damp squid, that it is just that we will be able to get some of the things that they've asked for.
It's a long road. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. It was not about the 27 runs. If it was 57 or 107, would we be feeling any better? I don't think so. It's the fact that we've got something to address, and for us to get back on top or to be a competitive nation in world cricket, we've got to address these situations.
CEO of Cricket West Indies, Chris Derring, acknowledges the challenges are not quick fixes and budgetary concerns will have to be put in place to cater to some of the recommendations.
We want to assure you on behalf of Cricket West Indies that we take everything that was said, all the recommendations that were given, very seriously. And we will, with our own plans, one of the things that was quite almost gratifying was it validated many of the things that we had been working on behind the scenes already. There are going to be, I think, have to be a building block approach, almost like creating using a Lego set, because we're not going to be able to build everything at once. But there are certain things that we know are priorities, and we're going to have to find a way to prioritize them, to make sure we have the budgets that fund them, and we need to execute and deliver them. And we're very, very confident that we'll be able to deliver on many of the items in very short order. Some items, it's going to take some thought, it's going to take some innovation, it's going to take some risk-taking, but we know that the end result is worth it.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.